Oh, be careful, be careful. It's a big mess. The plumbing is plugged up. Probably when you flush anything, the other toilet goes. Don't step in it. You will be sorry.
Right.
It's a big mess. And don't flush because apparently the blockage is down in the pipes.
Oh.
No matter which toilet you flush, that particular toilet overflows. You might as well just pee on the floor, man.
Dude, you might as well just go pee on a fucking tree, right?
You're not going to make any worse if you just pee on the puddle.
Oh, God. I hate that. Because no. At least I'll just get into this hole.
Well, you would actually dilute the poop that's down there.
Dilute the poop that's down there. Yeah. That's what I want.
You'd be making it a
Hey,
poop.
dilute that poop with your pee, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.
Make
Good
a-
place to brush my teeth, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this, I don't know. I mean,
Who doesn't want to smell that while you're brushing your teeth?
yeah, brushing your teeth is definitely something I would not do in here.
I want to do it.
Because it doesn't have to be done in here. Anyway, you have to get each his own.
Yeah, faucet, little sink thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't use a faucet, so I completely forgot about that reason.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
me too. I love your beard, man. Your beard looks great. I love big beard. I mean, obviously.
It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's easier. I grew it out. I started growing a beard. I've always had facial hair, mustache and stuff, but I just grew it out a few years ago. I finally looked at my razor blade and I said, what the fuck am I doing this every morning for?
Yeah,
You know?
totally. Dude.
And for me, it was, you know, like when I was 3 years old, I saw my dad shaving.
Right.
And so my whole life, I've tried to be like my dad, you know.
Yeah.
And like 62 years old, I'm going, okay, I don't need to be like my dad. You know?
Yeah. That's how deep the cultural, you know. I remember this.
I'm recording audio. The cameras are on, but I won't keep the video.
Okay.
So you have a right to know that. So I have to make sure I tell people.
Thanks. What are you doing with the video?
Where do I?
What are you doing? What are you filming for?
Oh, it's not YouTube or anything. I do it for my own legal protection. I'm an activist, and
Oh, okay.
I have to work.
Oh, okay. Then I don't care. That's
yeah. So it goes up on the website. People can listen to it, but I don't keep the videos unless you're a bad guy.
okay. Cool. Yeah.
Just a conversation, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
But on that, what you said, I know you're brushing your teeth, so I've lived a life where I've been able to think a lot about philosophical things and how we perceive reality and stuff like that. And I'm trained as an economist, and so as an economist, as a traditional economist, I'm rah-rah about how wonderful the free market is, and you know, the invisible hand and all that. But within that world of economics, I'm a radical economist because I'm focused on what's wrong with the system. So what I say is, yeah, the invisible hand is that's a cool thing, but we have this thing over here. Oh, let's call it the invisible fist, and that's what I think you might have been alluding to. All the thought control, all the things in our system that basically brainwash us and program us into thinking we need all this shit that we don't need, you know, and it goes on and on. Just all the brainwashing. So definitely keep thinking that. You're young; it's your future. You know, you don't want to. You want to keep the good, but get rid of the bad. Go ahead. Focus on your toothbrushing.
Okay.
I want to leave you a card and invite you to send me an email.
Well, thanks for, I know it's harder, or it was harder for, anybody from previous generations to kind of like wake up to the whole program, you know what I mean? It's like, some of them are fast asleep and don't try and wake up, just let them sleep, but, they got all the money because they're the older, and they got the property, and they got the jobs, and they got the, so when somebody wakes up and they're an elder and they're speaking
was, I have sometimes I can't bring up names. Al Gore, he said it beautifully in one of his videos on climate change. He said, it's really hard to get somebody to see something when their income and their wealth depends on them not seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's talking about people that have a vested interest in the status quo. You're wasting your breath trying to talk to them because they will not see what you're trying to say because it costs them to see it. You know, they don't get to go to bed at night thinking they're good people.
It's true, you know.
Yeah. No, people aren't rational. So, and as someone that wears a MAGA hat, I have to deal with that every day. That you can't connect verbally with people if they're not open to it. You know.
And you don't have similar ideas. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I'm excited by the vibes I get from you. And I don't mean too much. That doesn't mean too much. I'm not trying to flatter you.
That's okay. But I appreciate it.
Even though I have a MAGA hat on, I'm actually a morals teacher. I wear the hat to promote political tolerance, to confront people with their hat hate. These are my politics. I happen to like Trump, but
nice.
I mean, I don't know if I like him, but you know, Trump is Trump. But
promoting that tolerance and equality.
But that's my thing, is to promote tolerance. The front of the card is that opportunity. I'm organizing a nonprofit, and the purpose of the nonprofit is to promote unselfish living. So it's a non-religious economic association to empower the people by building community.
Yeah.
And the basic vision is weekly dinners. And the back of the card is the essence of my moral teaching. It took me 40 years to write it. And it comes from religion, but as you can see, I put it in non-religious terms. So,
win to win, but not cheating. That's a big one.
You have to play to win, especially once you have kids, once you have a wife.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with playing to win, and it's a dirty game. You play dirty because you have to win.
Right.
But there's a line you don't want to cross.
Right.
And I tell each man, you have to figure out where that line is.
Right.
You know. So as a moral teacher, I'm relatively forgiving. You know, if I'm talking to a construction general contractor, I know the game, and I'll tell him, look, I know the game. I know it's dirty. I know you have to bribe people, etc. I'm not getting down on you for that. You play to win. You know, but we get anyway. So my thing is to weekly dinners, promote tolerance, confront people in their own intolerance. I get really hard on Santa Cruz. Each community I do different because I try to sense what they need to hear. In Santa Cruz, I get really negative and I confront people. I say, look, you fuckers think you're progressive, you're liberal, bullshit. You know, a true liberal tolerates. A true liberal respects other people's rights. You guys aren't liberals. You guys aren't progressive. A real progressive actually cares about liberty. You know, empowering the people and respecting other people and being open-minded and all this other stuff. You guys aren't any of that in this community.
They're fake liberals.
Here I am. I'm talking too much, maybe. But tell me the first name.
Perfect, Travis.
It's me, sir.
A little bit.
I don't care.
What was your first name?
Well, don't tell me your last name because I'm going to keep the audio recording.
Okay.
But do what you can, to make your world. One person, you alone, with no help, can change your world. And if God wills it, however you think of that, you single-handedly have the power to change the world. Change the Bay Area, whatever. It's true. It's really true. I live it. I do it. And I want to encourage people to live their truth and to speak their truth. And, if your friends won't listen to it, get new friends. People are so impressed. People are more oppressed in Santa Cruz than anywhere else in the Bay Area. I am constantly dealing with people that are just scared shitless that anybody's even seeing them talk to me, etc. Travis.
Why is that? Because
Just because of the hat,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
That's funny. I was talking to a 19-year-old last night, and she's like, this is like too good to be true, you know. And she's like talking about Santa Cruz and the way it's set up, and I'm like, you don't know anything about anything. I'm like, this is the system designed to keep you like just like that, you know, like just docile and inside of a little box, you know, so you never really truly know what's out there. Just totally taken aback by it. But I think a lot of people are just, I don't know. I appreciate you. Yeah.
I want you to keep talking, because I did too much talking. I want to hear what you're thinking.
Oh, man.
You have 10 minutes to sit down with me outside?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bench? Chairs?
Let's get some chairs.
That's my choice. Go ahead, pick a chair. I'll take the other one.
A little mini day today.
Mini day?
Mm-hmm. I learned about this practice yesterday about taking every action that you do and making it a mini day. And then think about how many mini days you have inside of a day. And think about how much you really can accomplish every single day. You're an elder and you're a really well plugged in person to the community. You know about what's going on with the homeless. You know about what's going on with politics. And here you are telling me, you know, get involved and that I can change the world. Like that's a major thing to sit and contemplate, you know. There's not a lot of people sending out that message, hey, you can change the world, who are also in the same vein of doing things, you know. But usually the people who are going to lift you up and tell you you can are doing it themselves, you know. And it's beautiful. So I appreciate you.
You know, you just made my day. Thank you so much. That was a high compliment. I like your idea of a mini day. I never used that term, but I try to. One of my habits of thinking is that instead of thinking about what am I going to do with this day, I think about what am I going to do with this hour, which may be the same thing or something similar.
Yes, very, very, very similar. A way to bring it closer to you instead of the full day, because the full day can almost be like overwhelming, you know, but you think the next hour, the next section, you know, you break it up into, here's a whole thing that I'm going to take care of, and then you're complete, and it's like you can accomplish more things that way instead of half-assing whatever all day long, which, you know, I'm 27 years old, and I'm just learning these things. Because it's kind of overwhelming. Like there's when you really start to set your mind free and think, oh, okay, I can do anything right now. It kind of becomes like, oh my God, what do I want to do? And I end up doing nothing, you know, or little bits of things, but not a full, you know. So I'm learning to be more follow through with something. If I'm gonna sit and play guitar and write a song, I'm going to write a whole song, you know, and just finish it. And
that's the biggest mistake I made in my life. The stupidity that caused me to expend the most energy and stress unproductively was not doing that.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, it's thrashing. You go from one task to the other and you never finish anything, and it's just like stressful. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna write a song. Sit down and write the fucking song.
Write it all the way, and then you're done. Because I have like 70% finished songs, like a ton of them. You know what I mean? And all the way finished, like a small handful, and it's just driving me. So I'm glad I'm figuring this out now. You know, to just be like, all right, what I'm doing is worthwhile. I don't need to doubt it anymore. I can just live in the joy of the moment and the creation of what I'm making. And if I'm choosing to spend my time making a song, it's worthwhile, and I can write it all the way through. If I'm gonna write down this idea for a business or whatever, I'm gonna sit down. I'll take the extra hour to finish it all the way, and then it's there for me to utilize later.
I'll tell you the words that work for me, and I use them on myself constantly, in a lot of situations throughout the day. I'm looking at you, but normally I voice this to myself. Focus on doing, not on getting done. Those are the words that work for me. A totally, completely different way of experiencing the task. You're just doing the task. You're not thinking about the fact that it has to get done in an hour. You're not thinking about the next thing you have to do. You're not thinking about, I have to get this done. You're thinking, I am doing this. This is my moment. For me, it totally transforms my moments, my mini days. I like that idea. I like that name. I have to think about it. It might become part of the way I think about it. You've given me that gift.
Awesome. Well, I can't claim credit for the idea, but I'm very happy to be the transmitter.
Well, neither one of us has a single thought that we can call our own. Really. Thank God for that.
It's really. God has already thought it all. We're just choosing which ones to pull in and which ones are masterful, which ones are the way that we want to be and are representations of what we feel is who we are. And so hopefully we have some kind of spiritual or understanding of God, that's loving and benevolent, and continue to choose realities that are in that space.
Well, I have a Christian background, and so I use these terms. They mean certain things to me, but I tell people it's the essence of morality is to see yourself as part of something larger. And there are different ways to do that. And from an overall point of view, it's not necessarily a good larger thing. I mean, my advice to you is the same advice that I would give to a soldier in Adolf Hitler's Nazi army. Morality is an individual thing. So if I'm a brown shirt and I hate Jews and I run a concentration camp, whatever it is, that could be a very evil larger thing. But at an individual level, if I am devoting myself to this larger thing, then I'm an unselfish person. Some little part. I use the Nazi thing intentionally to draw the contrast.
Right.
The essence of unselfishness is to see yourself as part of something larger and to sacrifice your individuality to that larger thing. And so even if that larger thing is an evil thing, you can be a good person in the sense that you are subordinating yourself to a larger thing. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, if you have a choice, you will want to choose your larger thing wisely.
Right.
But the essence of being unselfish is to live a life where you are part of a larger thing. And beliefs about God, these are all produced by human culture. All these myths and stories, they're all produced by human culture to put this big thing into human terms so that we can understand it, so that we can live it. So I tell people, if they're open to religion, I tell people that religion is a very powerful, it's a very effective way of thinking about the world and thinking about yourself. And there's a lot of wisdom that you get access to. But you have to make the myth work for you. And you have to not get caught up in whether God exists or not. That's not what it's about. I'm telling you this because you seem to be willing to hear it. And,
Absolutely, I'm so happy to receive your wisdom.
there are two Christianities out there. I've traveled all over the United States, living in my car, working construction work, and I've talked to many men, and there are two Christianities out there. Just using Christianity as an example, I mean, it's an important example in our culture. And there's one Christianity where it's all about heaven and hell, what's going to happen to you if you're good, what's going to happen if you're bad, are you saved? Let me get my checklist out. Are you really a Christian? No, you don't. No. And then there's this other Christianity out there that just depends on which group you're talking about, which minister that is leading the group. It's focused on the love teaching. And if you're, I tell Christians, look, I told a woman just yesterday, a nice old woman who's very lonely right now. I met her out right out there. I said, if it's all about what God's going to do for you, then the question of whether God is there becomes a critically important question. Like St. Paul said when he preached, Paul said, "Hey, if Jesus didn't rise from the dead, then we're all wasting our time." Paul got it wrong, and Christianity's been on the wrong track for 2,000 years. It's not about what God's going to do for you. It's about what you're going to do for God.
Oh, man.
And I had a man walk up to me when I was standing at my bicycle locker up in Mountain View. And he said that to me without me prompting, without me having a conversation. He had figured it out himself. 17 years in prison, carries a concealed knife, had a rough life. But he's the first man I've ever met who got that, who told it to me anyway. If it's all about what you're going to do for God, then you can let go of whether he's actually there or not, because it doesn't matter. You don't have any stake in that question. So if God's there, if there's something after death, all icing on the cake. It doesn't matter. That's not why you're doing it. Just live a beautiful life. And if you live a beautiful life and draw the wisdom that's available from Christianity and from wherever else, it will empower you and it will make you really alive. You're just so receptive. I can say all these things that I normally can't say to anybody.
That's potent stuff. Most people would not want to hear it. I mean, but it's so beautiful. It's so true. And it really confirms like a lot of things that I've seen recently. I read a conversation between, I don't know if it was real or not, but it was supposedly between a bishop and like up and coming priests, and he was talking to them about atheists and how they should all try to be like the atheists. And they were like, what do you mean? Atheist doesn't believe in God. Well, and then he said, well, atheist believes that he is God, and if he does something that's good, him doing it is more powerful than any of us doing it, because we believe there's heaven and God's going to take care of us and all this stuff, but if he's doing it, he believes he's the only one that can make a difference in that moment, and he's doing it like out of such a genuine sense of caring for other people, caring for the planet. Whatever good he does, he believes it's his job to take care of that, and he's taken it upon himself to make more beauty in the world. We should all be more like that instead of just doing things because we know we're going to heaven at the end. It's way more powerful, and I love those words. It's not about what God does for you, it's about what you do for God. Because especially I think about my dad, he's always, I'm worried. I'm worried you don't believe in Jesus, you're not going to come to heaven with me. It's like, boo-hoo, you know, like, cry me a river. Like, you're a cop, you know, like, let's figure out some better way of living, you know, like, let's go feed some homeless people together. I don't know, let's do some good stuff and you'll see I'm a good person, and it doesn't matter if I believe in Jesus or not. We are going to heaven, but we got to make it right here, right now. You know, not, oh, we'll be okay in the end. It's like, right here, right now. Feed people. Take care of them. I gave some blankets to this guy who was just like passed out on the sidewalk last night, you know. And somebody gave me like $3, and I came into Santa Cruz with $0 and a quarter tank of gas, and now I can go get some food this morning, you know, just because I was a nice person, and then it caused somebody else to be nice to me, and it's like that chain of, you know, taking care of each other. It really could take care of the whole planet if we wanted to, if we kept it alive, you know, we just kept doing like that, you know. People are selfish and in their own worlds, and that's the way it's designed to be. You know, you gotta take care of your bills, you gotta, you know, go to your job, and, you know, you can get fired from your job and all this weird stuff, you know. You can't just do what you want to do and help the world out. Everyone who's doing it is just a courageous warrior. And I love having a conversation. Like, this is just amazing, you know. I live off of having conversations with especially elders, free thinkers who are really wanting to make the world a better place, because we are the line. We are the front lines of, is this world going to get better or not, you know?
Economic theory, and I spent my whole 20s studying it. I got a good education in economics. Has a neat idea that applies to this. It's equilibrium. And it's not just economics, physics and engineering uses the same idea, but think of a physical example. Actually, the bathroom is a good example, but it's so disgusting. Equilibrium is simply, what I'm getting to is that the struggle between good and evil is eternal. And we're not going to win the war. We're not going to lose the war. We're going to die, and the war is going to continue. But that's okay. You know, the equilibrium refers to, the idea of equilibrium means that whatever the balance is. You know, and we can shift the balance. You know, if we're more effective fighting for good, then the world becomes good a little bit better. You know, and then if some evil person emerges that's effective and powerful, then the world shifts over this way a little bit. More people suffer, more people are lonely, and more people are, you know, being shot, whatever, you know. But that's the world, and that's our role in it. We can move the needle, but we can't lock the needle. After you and I die, it'll be up to whoever's there, you know. And so it's a fight worth fighting because it gives our life meaning to do it, and it actually is effective. You actually can make other people's lives better just by caring and by acting on that. You know. Oh, it's wonderful that you're caring. This, you know, we all have a past, and words like these can touch us in ways that, for complicated reasons. I'm proud of the fact that I cry more now than I used to. You know, it's a symptom of your being alive. You know, well, you're welcome to be in my life. You know, did I give you a card? Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, and I have no privacy. Virtually every conversation I've had in the last 10 years is up on a website. If you know the date, you can go to the page for that day and listen to it all. This one will eventually be up there. I will not keep the video. but unless you want me to. But
Yeah, I would love to. I
Apparently.
want to see myself start crying.
Well, I don't even know if I got it. I guess it's sort of aimed in your direction. I probably got it.
Kind of.
So all right, I'll keep the video. Right now I'm like, right now I have too many videos, and I've got to find another computer solution because my computer doesn't run fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take my computer about 5 hours to export this video.
Oh man.
And I can't be. It's a laptop. I got to be sitting there while it's doing it. So.
Oh no, that's not sustainable for you.
You know, I have.
You got to get you a new laptop.
There's a lot of administrative work that goes along with this. Let me tell you, get off the philosophy a little bit. I'll just tell you a little bit about my life. I wander constantly throughout the Bay Area. I carry a megaphone, big ass megaphone, and I have a lot of experience with police. I know how to handle them. And so the combination of the legal things I have to do combined with all the administrative work I have to do, every voice recording, every video has to be edited and named and filed and handled and stored. I have servers. So it's a lot of work. I'm getting older. I'm 64, so it's like, my limiting factor is I know how to do all this shit, but I just don't have the energy. It's kind of a young man's job,
Yeah.
Yesterday I had 6 cops, 6 cops in my face. I was like, at one point I said, okay, 6 cops, 6 police officers for one traffic ticket. Really? I think the whole ship was out there.
Yeah, the whole portion of that ship was like, well, we got him again. We better all.
Hey, look what
the lieutenant's coming down, the sergeant.
This is show and tell. I want to show you something I put together. It's a legal thing.
Oh, cool.
So, I want the people to be empowered, and I'm totally a Boy Scout. I love cops. I probably think like a cop. For me, the Constitution and the law, it's all about empowering the people. And just this morning before I met you, I was thinking somehow I want to work into my speech that in the United States, the law and the Constitution, that's the direction that empowers the people. Every other direction disempowers the people. Every other direction, no matter what it sounds like, how good it sounds, it will take you to disempowerment. And Santa Cruz is filled with this shit. So anyway, here's what I came up with. So many people are intimidated and they're afraid to put their whatever. I have people come up to me constantly. Thanks for wearing the hat. You're so awesome. I wish I could wear one. Etc.
I wish I could wear one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people in Santa Cruz that love Trump, but they're hiding. They don't dare let anybody know. That's the kind of community it is here, apparently.
Yeah.
So I put this little thing together. I give it out to cops. I give it out to people who attack me. Once I've managed the attack, I'll hand them this. But it's legal. It's kind of dry. I don't know if it's of any interest right now, but
okay.
And you're welcome to keep it if you're interested. But the basic point is that the law gives us a lot of power to speak.
I love this because law. I feel that knowing the law is the power, and it's funny because my dad was just retired in the last few months from 30 years of being a deputy sheriff at Los Angeles Sheriff's Department.
So he was county. Was he?
LA County.
Was he with the jails or was he in the unincorporated areas patrolling?
Yeah, he was in actually. Malibu?
Yeah.
Malibu, Westlake Village, Calabasas. Very rich area, and
so he was doing street patrol. In a car.
Yeah. For most of his years.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, he, had enough with his back injuries and stuff. And just was doing paperwork and things like that. But I was always surprised at how little he knew about the laws, about legal system, about anything, I mean, I love my dad. I really love my dad. I have to precede that because it's not to be disrespectful to him. I want to honor him, and I appreciate that he fed me, gave me a place to sit. He was a good father to me. But they don't know shit about the laws. They're just kind of thugs who are just kind of doing whatever their boss tells them.
Right.
Which is kind of like, you think, police officer, you think, oh, this guy's like keeping us safe, he knows the laws, you're going to keep the laws and everything. It's like, it's not really, like, yeah, that's the main intention, but there's definitely some areas there they're unaware of. But, I mean, we absolutely need them, and I respect all of them, so much honor to every single law enforcement that's out there. It's a tough job, and nobody wants to do it, and we get tons of crap.
Oh, yeah.
All the
So
time.
the job sucks.
Sucks.
It has its moments when you get to beat the shit out of somebody, but normally it sucks.
Normally it's exactly.
I mean, let's face it. Let's admit it.
That's all you can do is wait for that moment.
I'm not saying the cops are waiting for an opportunity, but basically it is that way. It's a very boring job, full of paperwork, full of bullshit, disrespect. Every once in a while, you get to see some action, and it's kind of like what you live for,
It is, which sucks. I mean, like, if that's all they're really living for, and then it becomes the uncomfortable thing of, well, like, is that really something you want to be getting your Jolly Rogers off on? You know what I mean? Having to bring down the law on somebody. Like, shouldn't that be a sober, really, like, I don't want to do this doesn't make me feel good, but I must do this for the protection of my friends, my family, my community.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not speaking from any moral high ground because everything you're saying applies to me as well. I've never been a cop. What I imagine with your father, just in general, speaking generally, is that he believes in what he's doing. There's something in his life, some experiences that he had that made him want to fight the bad guy, promote good.
Right.
But on a day-to-day basis, in order to be good at your job, whatever it is, you got to be into it emotionally. You have to be like bonded with the job. You have to love it, and like most jobs, it's a dirty job. It's a job. Well, here are the rules, and here's the way it really is. Here's how we're supposed to get the job done, which is impossible. So this is how we really get the job done. And in my life, I had an attorney once. He's dead now. Someone I got to know really well. He's looking at me. He said, "You're passive aggressive." And I had somebody else. I had a close friend that he's also dead. What happens when you get older? You lose all your friends. I was at a birthday party of his, and he said something like, I'm competitive. And I said, "Oh no, I'm not competitive." He said, "Oh, you're the most competitive person. You're just like, you're a fucking machine. You're a monster. You're so competitive." And I went away from that thinking, well, and I don't really know what the answer is. Either I'm really extremely competitive, or I'm not competitive at all. And I'm not sure what the truth is. And I don't spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. But it's like an unresolved question in my mind of who I am. Because these people that I believe, that I have faith in, tell me things that I don't see. I see myself as a non-competitive person. But I was homeless. I started speaking with signs. Eventually now I got a megaphone. And I have to tell you, I just love it when a cop gets in my face. I just fucking love it. You know? So I guess I am competitive. The reason I tell you all this...
Shit!
Yeah.
You got me questioning it too. I'm like, yeah, my morals are being in question here. What do I think about my life now?
You know, so in my activism, you know, I got all these beautiful ideas and I can make people think I'm wonderful, but I'm a human being and I'm motivated by a whole range of motives that range from the lofty to down here, the base and the sexual and the selfish and passively aggressive. I just want to hurt people. You know, I'm not just one of them. I'm all of them. And if your father is the same way, maybe he's the same way. He's got all sorts of things motivating him. The reason why he's a cop or was a cop. You know, and that's what we are. You know? He didn't get himself killed. He raised a family, apparently. I don't know how much success he had with marriage. Mine lasted for a while. You know?
Yeah.
The fact that you're still talking about him without venom in your eyes.
Oh,
You know, you have a lot of respect. You've expressed respect for elders and stuff like that. It's so old people, like everybody, old people need to be needed. And it's basically a transfer from old to young. It's not. An old person doesn't expect it to be a two-way street. They want to be needed. They want to give. They want to, you know, they're at the point in their life where they have all this advice. They want to give it. They want somebody to listen to it. And it's such a gift that you've given me to just listen, you know. And as a result, it's like any teacher. It's like a performer, like someone singing on a stage. If the audience sucks, the performance is going to suck. It's making love. It's connection. It's a dance. You know, and you're dancing with me right now. And so you're eliciting. I couldn't do this with somebody else. I wouldn't have the words with somebody else. Because the communion wouldn't be there. So you're 27, you know? Dad did something right. Now go run with it. You know? I don't know how much more time you want to give to this, but for me it's been a lifetime search for manhood. And in this moment in my life, it's very dangerous. The knife is a new addition. This is not who I am. I really don't know how to use it. You know, I hope I don't have to use it. I'm old. So I got problems, you know. But life has a lot of potential, and if you live in truth and you live according to your heart, you put aside your fear and you do the right thing. I mean, there's no guarantees in life. You might be dead next week, but I'll tell you a saying I came up with, and I love saying it. Do not fear that you will die. Fear that you might never live. And what I've been talking about is life, living. What you started the conversation with is living. What you said, expressing, that's being alive. And it's dangerous. You have to let go of what's going to happen to you from one moment to the next. You say, fuck, this is what I'm going to do. I mean, you can't be too smart. You can't be too clever. Because once you start thinking about what's in your interest, you die. So either we'll never see each other again, or you'll put yourself in my life. You're welcome to do that. Either way,
Thank you.
You know, it'd be a gift to me.
Thank you. I'll tell you a little about myself. I do.
Oh, and one more thing about your dad.
Yeah.
I lost my dad 20 years ago, and it was a sad situation with in his life. He gave me so much. He gave me so much, and I can't pay him back. And that's one of my motives. So I minister to men. That's how I see myself, and it's because of my dad. So, reconcile with your dad as much as you can. Give him the benefit of the doubt as much as you can. Give him that relationship as much as you honestly can. And accept his limitations as a Christian. He might not get it. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I do want to hear you tell me what you were going to tell me.
Oh man, so I'm a traveler. So I just come to Santa Cruz because I do Native American ceremony in the mountains in Felton with a circle that's really cool people. But yeah, everything you said resonates with me, and I feel like. I feel like really happy to have an elder on the same path, and maybe I won't see you all the time, but I would love to connect and drop in and connect with you whenever I am in this area and share more of our lives together in that way. Because I just, I want to take care of you too. I'm like, you're my elder, I need to protect you and, be there for you if you need me. And I appreciate everything you're giving me. Really.
I'm being given these words. It's not from me, and it's not for you. So find your purpose and live it. Maybe this conversation is all about you. Maybe it has a purpose. Maybe we were brought together.
Can you actually almost leave the ground?
You've given me a gift, but maybe this is really about you being sent on your task, whatever that is.
Well, I just recently came into very big awareness about the things that I'm here to do and just the massive scope of what is possible if I leave all fear and doubt behind and run towards it with the kind of gentleness and kindness and love that I've learned from all the people who've given that to me, and also with the forwardness and the strength and the motion of a young man who is afraid for our survival. That we are at that point, or it's like, not that we're at that point, but like living with that, from that sense of urgency. There's a task to be done. And I although I'm 27, I do have years ahead of me. I do know they're giving me a little nudge. Keep going.
You whet my. You just told me just a little bit enough to whet my interest. And so, do you spend most of your time in Felton?
No, I spend my time totally in just in journey of where I'm meant to be to receive what I need to get to some. I'm focused on doing. And I don't have like a normal place I hang out. I don't have a normal anything.
I call it locationless living.
Yeah.
I made a decision in 2000 that I would live locationlessly, not have any emotional ties to any particular place. I don't know if it's the same thing. But.
Absolutely.
So what involvement do you have with the Native American community?
So
are you a Native American or?
No. I am studying the rituals. Studying is kind of a weird white man's term, but there is a beautiful man named Chief. He's a Lakota chief, Chief Golden Light Eagle, and he's been since 1996 doing conferences called Star Knowledge conferences, where he's giving out the secrets that the indigenous peoples have kept from the white man, which are basically that there are star people that have always been here and are still guiding humanity, and that basically from this relationship there are these ceremonies which are designed to bring human beings to a space of communion with the spirit, with the other side of the veil, with our ancestors in the past, with spiritual beings that have never existed in the physical, and that truly this is the communion of physical reality, mundane, living our lives with spiritual, that the Western culture is so desperately in need of, and really has kind of like chasing its own tail, searching for answers that they're actually beating to death and have been beating to death for hundreds of years, I mean, they weren't allowed to practice their ceremonies. They would go to jail, they would be thrown in mental institutions until 1976 when Jimmy Carter passed the Freedom of Religion Act. And we have touted in the textbooks that we're a country of religious freedom, and yet the indigenous peoples, the people who lived here before you did, can't even practice what they believe and haven't been able to until recently. So the fact that this man is actually sharing it at the massive behest of his own people, so many of his people are like, you're giving away our secrets to the white man, why are you doing this? And his own grandpa was taken in the middle of the night and put into an insane asylum for 30 years or 20 years until he died, with his grandma crying every single night because they took him, just because he could talk to the trees, he could talk to the grass, he could talk to the wind. They took him in the middle of the night and left him in a tower to die.
It sounds like a story that needs to be told.
It is, but he won't do a documentary. He won't do anything because it's not about him and it's not about the struggle. It's literally just about other people who feel the call, know that this is like the way of life to live, just living it, So I make the decision to go to these ceremonies and do them. And what he says is they're earth ceremonies, although it's Native American, it's Lakota, that's their culture. This belongs to the people. It belongs to the people.
People meaning everyone?
Everyone.
I know in some Native American cultures, the word for people refers only to that group.
Right. Well, and that's where a lot of indigenous people think. I mean, they're like, a lot of them are like, no white people at our ceremonies, they're very, this is our tradition, da-da-da. But this Lakota chief says, no, these are earth ceremonies. They belong to the people of the earth.
I had a beautiful experience similar to that. When I'm in Oakland regularly, almost weekly, and at Lake Merritt there's a drum ceremony that a man has apparently organized for many, many years. He provides many of the drums, and he's got a sign that promotes unity and respect and peace, basic sign. So like I always wear this hat, and I don't know if you know anything about Oakland, but this hat is an eye catcher down here. I mean, it's a whole different level in Oakland.
Yeah, buddy.
And I wear it everywhere.
Man.
I will not take this hat off for anybody. And so I'm in Oakland, riding my bike and whatever. So I stopped and I like music, and so I stopped in the drum circle and participated. And there was a confrontation that some of the people, yeah, and I wasn't just participating. I got into it, and I was dancing and in the circle with other people, a few other people, and that's the custom. That's the pattern. Is that there'll be 2 or 3, maybe just one woman, but 20 or 25 people in a circle drumming, and a couple of people dancing. So anyway, so I was participating 100% in there, and there was a couple white guys that just couldn't take it anymore. You know, you just can't wear that hat here. And the leader of the drum circle said, no, he stays. This drum circle is for everyone. You know, and it's hard. He showed the purity in his own motives, because he probably pissed off a lot of his regulars. You know, and I don't make a point of, when I go to the drum circle now, I kind of stay in the background. Now that I'm more aware of the situation, I don't want to interfere with what's going on there. You know. But I hope, I don't take the hat off. I wear it. You know. Anyway, the story is the same. It's a similar story, where this man is doing what he's called to do, and it's such a powerful, beautiful thing. The drum circle at Lake Merritt. You know, he's out there. I think he gives all of his weekends to this. You know.
What days is it usually? Because I have a friend who lives near Lake Merritt.
In the Grand Lake, in the Grand Lake end of it, which is the eastern end, by the little kind of construction thing that there's a little, I don't know how to describe it, but it's the east end of the park toward the Grand Lake District, near the little library that's there. Yeah, of course you can't miss it. If it's going, you'll find it no matter where at the lake you are. It's so loud.
Saturday evening?
I would say, Saturday during the day.
Oh, day.
On the weekend during the day, yeah.
I've been missing drum circles. It's been a while since I've gotten to be a part of one. They're so magical. There's something so incredibly powerful about them. So incredibly healing. It's very primal, and it's just very kind of like frees your human up to be like, have those, kind of like strong primal impulses, but have it not be, something unacceptable to society.
What I like is that it's so connecting. It's the most connecting experience that I have with people without actually touching their bodies.
Right.
And yet it's completely nonverbal.
So I'll tell you my idea. I actually had this come through yesterday, and it sort of involves the drum circle idea. I want to start a whole new style of music festival, music groups, music band, etc., where basically we have, there can be a leader, almost like a conductor of an orchestra. And instead of going to go see XYZ band, and you're sitting there and you're just going, this band is so good. Bring your drums, bring your guitars, bring your basses, bring what you have, and then we're going to have the parts. Somehow I was thinking, I don't know, through colors or something, but like we're going to have the parts all displayed and everybody playing certain parts. So like, certain section of the djembes are going to be playing this, certain section are going to be playing this. And this comes from some of what I learned from African drum, like indigenous culture. What they would do is they have about like 6 different drums, and each of them has a different part. And each of those parts put together, plus singing from one guy and then back from the crowd, back and forth, and everybody's drumming. Everybody has different drum parts, and then there's a guy leading, and then they sing back, guy leading. It's so communal. It's so powerful. And like the one song we learned was all about how each child is worth more than 10,000 of anything that I could possibly find. They're the most valuable thing to the community, you know. And so just taking these things and amalgamating them into a new life, you know, I'm not going to steal their culture and indigenous things, but I want to take what works and put it all together. And so bring all your instruments, here's all the different parts. Everybody's going to be playing the music at the same time. And then we'll have featured musicians on top who are doing solos of guitar, doing solos of the drums, singing, and then chanting back and forth, where it's a giant communal living band, you know, and it's not anybody's band, it's not my band, it's not your band, and it's, you know, the songs aren't mine, they're not yours.
There's no real distinction between the audience and the performance. It's a communal experience.
Yeah. It's just a big connecting point where we all come together for the love
But
of
it's not a drum circle. It's not jazz. It sounds like it's more somewhere between jazz and an orchestra.
Yes, and a drum circle, like kind of put in some middle ground.
And the Native American culture comes into this how?
So everything is connected, but maybe not always directly. The indigenous ways are about ceremony, and I'm not really sure exactly how their songs fit into it. Right now it's a very particular vein of consciousness, but how I'm integrating it all, because what I learned from my other elder yesterday is like, well, I won't get into what he taught me because it's a whole thing in itself, but how it integrates is these festivals that we'll be putting on, where people come and they're making the music and we're all playing together, and the money is not to, you know, build some crazy build so that you can be on drugs and watch these, you know, DJs and dance for hours. It's about the pure-hearted intention of community and creating that, and we're taking money for donation, for funds for a purpose, you know, like my buddy's brand is Project Manifest. If we work together, we'll utilize it under that. But basically, we'll be taking donations and funds from everybody who's coming and utilizing that money to build communities, to begin build communities. And hopefully with the festival, we'll integrate other things like permaculture, new housing designs, and I'm still integrating and taking in every single idea that I have been gifted with or that I've heard that's not for me, but it's for my 7 generations after me, and putting it together into something that'll be very successful. But eventually these ceremonial ways, these sweat lodge ways, these Sundance ways, they will be integrated because they are a part of our, we're going to dance, we're going to have a good time during this music thing, but we all need these sweat lodges for our own internal individual morality and individual connection. It's like the music is about the group. Spirituality and the ceremonial ways, they are about the group, but they're just as much about like the individual finding a connection to spirit again. And so they're a very important piece in like keeping the community together, I think.
Did I lose? Is your name Travis?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't lose it. Okay. When you were speaking, I was thinking you're so beautiful, and then I was thinking, oh, I feel for his father. Oh, poor guy. He's not going to get over this.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're such a beautiful flower. Yes. All the cops I've met in my life. We're just in a different place,
That's all I'd say anymore. We're in different places. I love you, Dad. I love you so much. So glad we can have dinner and enjoy each other's company. I
Oh,
love you.
no, I'm crying, but it's not the same. I'm just
Yeah,
hearing it.
it's
It's funny. the thought of the two of you, it could be a television show. Oh, it hurts. You know it's funny when it hurts. And the reason it hurts is that we're both picturing the same thing. Oh. Oh, yeah, this is just a special moment in my life. I think
Especially to me too.
it really is. It's just, you're making choices in your life that I think will take you to wisdom, have already taken you to wisdom. And,
we tried our hardest, and like it was kind of, we put the cap on it, like, and it's me too. But it was just kind of.
trying to figure out how to clone you. But we don't get to do that. We have to do it the hard way,
Hey, if I'm successful, everybody will be. It's not about me. It's about everyone.
Truth does clone itself. Truth does replicate itself because the human heart responds to it and embraces it. And if you speak it and it's embraced, that's the process. It's not up to us.
We achieve immortality because of some part of us that emanated into the. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're so beautiful. You're such a beautiful.
What is it? Somebody was telling me this is the way certain people connect like this. They don't handshake like a Europeans. It was just a couple days ago. I'm trying to remember what group it was that does this. Anyway, words. So I wander. You can reach me via email. No privacy. Through our conversations, if we have them, we can teach others. And I think the project that I'm starting to focus on is organizing dinner groups. I like to tell you the basic concept because maybe you can be part of this. And this is the original. This goes back. My activism is complicated right now, but it starts from a simple original idea, which is commit to living unselfishly and have dinner together weekly. That was the original plan. And my life got complicated. I had lots of opposition. I got off the rails. But I don't have a lot of time left. I want to get back onto that track. So the beginning of this week, I actually began with my speeches to talk about inviting people to dinner. So I have a website. I'm good with a megaphone. I'm all over the Bay Area. People in 15 different communities all see me as part of their community because of the way the human mind works. You don't notice when somebody's gone. So I take advantage of that. People think of me as part of Santa Cruz. They don't know that I'm wandering. And that's true in Oakland, San Francisco, Mountain View, San Jose. I'm all over the place. So there's this tremendous potential to reach people with a message that they'll embrace. And the message is this: commit to living unselfishly according to your own understanding. Put weekly dinners in your life by zip code, by location, by nothing else. Not about joining other white people or joining other Catholics. not about belief systems. It's just bringing people together over dinner.
I mean, that's like a
And
it's not just
perhaps in the Native American culture, people understand how powerful that ritual is of coming over dinner. So there's no money involved. You don't have to join anything. Each person buys or brings his own food. It's just about coming together over a meal. By location, which means that you're accepting everyone. In your physical presence, you're accepting everyone. People might have Trump hats on, whatever. You're accepting, you're not, there's no division. You're all committed to living unselfishly, and that's the only thing you have in common. That's the only thing you require of anybody else. Just bring people together for dinner. And my vision, or what I feel called to do, is organize these dinners. Get back to my original vision. Get the police off my fucking back, and I can deal with them now. I know how to deal with them now. I know how to deal with the violence now. I know everything's ready. Everything is ready for me to go back out. It's after halftime now. I got a new strategy. I got a new football, and we're gonna kick some ass. And I'm ready to launch these dinners. So that's my thing.
Get me fired up.
No, it's so simple. I claim that almost by definition, all of our social and communal problems and issues can be resolved if we come together in community. It's almost by definition. That's what a community is that you come together to solve communal issues. So I got a MAGA hat on. I'm provocative. I know how to get people's attention. I know how to bait and switch. Get them, they spend 10 seconds thinking I'm a Nazi, and then they spend 2 minutes realizing, what the fuck's this guy saying? This actually makes sense. And it's all, there's no hidden agenda. It's about getting people to sit down with each other over dinner. In a simple way that's anonymous. You can be, I tell people in my speech, I don't care if you snuck across the border last week. Each and every person is a part of this larger thing called the United States. Come to dinner with us. All these people that, including myself, all these people that see themselves as such moral people, one of the acid tests are, can you picture yourself having dinner with me? People who look like me. You can't. What's the name of your intolerance? Where is that? Is it race? Is it politics? Is it gender? What is it? Why won't you meet me at In-N-Out Burger for a hamburger? But anyway, that's my thing. I'm giving you a little bit of an elevator pitch because I'm hoping that it might have a place in your life. You've got your own thing. You've got your own vision. So you might not be called to do anything with mine, but you're welcome to. And we're more likely to be part of each other's lives, contributing to each other's visions. You're just an awesome find. And either God's going to do something with you independently of me, or we're going to be part of each other's lives. And I'll accept both. But you decide. You decide when and if. You have my card. I get to Santa Cruz fairly regularly. A little bit of a trip for me, but I randomize my location for my own safety so that I can't be predicted. People can't predict, oh yeah, he's going to be, let's go get him. But Santa Cruz is part of my normal.
Can I give you some words that I feel called to say Mataku Yapi, which means permission to speak in front of my elders. I know I've been speaking in front of you, but now I wish to speak on the idea you just shared, because I feel like I'm coming out of, even though I'm 27 and you know, I don't have nearly as much life experience, I do feel a resonance with what you were saying about coming out of halftime and, like, you know, certain lessons have been learned, and now it's kind of like the original intention must be acted upon again. And I'm in the same situation just for my dream, this music thing, and there's a lot more to what I'm doing, but it's kind of like the gate was taken off yesterday, and it was like, do it, you know, everything I've been planning, you know, things that I thought were just schemes, no, they're actually a part of a huge integrated plan. It's the positive upliftment, empowerment of all the people through compassionate action. And when you were describing it to me, you know, it's like anybody could put on that dinner, right? Anybody could be like, hey, let's have a communal dinner and invite everybody. Like that, it's not inherently in itself and kind of a specialized or whatever. Anybody could do it, you know. And so it's not that special of a task to do. But what is special? What is more special is your vision. Your vision and the inherentness, the inherent reasons behind why you do it, and love. The love that you have that's inside of that vision is so beautiful. And so I just wanted to encourage you to share this vision and start circles of people who understand that vision. And so you don't have to be in one certain location. You can be you, but you have inspired and sparked all over. Because when you were talking about it, I was like, well, I'm going back to Sedona for 5 weeks, and then I'm leaving after that, and I'm going other places, etc., and I don't have expectations of like building it into some powerful, life-changing thing for all of Sedona, but I can take that idea and start with my friends, and start with every single person I know there who would be open to it, and say, hey, we could even start with each of us driving through Taco Bell and just sitting at Taco Bell and eating. But just the fact that we're sharing a meal together and that commitment to once a week come together as a community. You know, and who knows, maybe somebody else next week is like, somebody comes and, hey, I'll offer my house. Well, hey, I can cook. Well, hey, we can bring food, and then they can build, and then more and more people can show up. Like, the possibility for it to grow is limitless. And so the seed of the idea is like consistently valuable wherever you're going to spread that seed and plant it, sharing your vision and what you have to offer in it, the seed that you will plant with it. It's like, I don't even carry the seed of the idea. I'm just inspired by it, and hopefully we'll do something with it. But you're carrying such a valuable seed that you're planting, and you planted it with me. You will live with me, whether we are physically together or not. You're going to live through me.
Well, I'm going to keep this video for sure, because maybe this will. You're so articulate, and this has been such a beautiful conversation. That I've had this experience before, where people listen to stuff on the website that changes their lives in some little way, you know. And like,
yeah, I do more with it, expand it, make it. I wanted to see a visual of it. I wanted to feel it in sound and in words and in kind of like mission statement. Like this is more of what I want to push you to create, that like mission statement, it, you know, make it into something beautiful that I can see and experience and like take as a little seed and do in my own community.
This is just what I needed to hear, because the website is totally inadequate, and I just don't want to write. I'm just not in the mood to write, you know.
Yeah.
But now, now I'm going to do it because you've given me a slightly different way of thinking about it. It's like, oh, yeah, why not? Let go of it. I don't have to be part of it. He can take it to Sedona and run with it.
Yeah.
You know, some person who could listen to this video doesn't even know what website we're talking about. He can't find it because I forgot to mention it.
And also,
and I'm not going to mention it on purpose.
Yeah.
Just to test this.
And also, your picture is amazing. You with your beard, just you smiling, like having that like at the bottom of like whatever business card or like little note that you put.
Okay. This is what he's talking about.
The MAGA hat and the huge beard and the gold tooth, man, it's so epic. It's so epic.
Oh, this is a combination of true love and true selfishness.
Yes, we're so human.
It really is all about me. Oh, that is such a curse. You know how many decades it took me to kind of begin to get over that. Oh, I'm laughing about it now, but I'm laughing at myself.
Oh man, it's a joke we gotta get over and just play with because, woo, if we don't own that little bit of selfishness in every magnanimous act, like who the fuck are we really, you know? Shit, I am making the world a better place so I can live in a better world. Fuck, sorry, you caught me.
Exactly.
I don't want to live in a shitty place anymore. So you're empowered, you know?
What you just said is the purpose of this whole video. That's the essence of it all. That irony. So that I'm doing this for the world so that I don't have to live in a shitty world.
Can't live with it, can't live without it, you know, it's just an inherent part of life, and it makes life beautiful. It's the thing that makes you go, huh? And then you can't think too fucking hard about it. Just do it. Just do it. If it's in the heart place, just do it. And I just trust the world to be better, because I really don't have the answers. All my ideas are nothing new under the sun, and none of my ideas are original. These are, you know, it's not from you, and it's not for me. It's just something that's happening. It's just flowing. It's almost indescribable.
I would love to know who your teachers have been. They don't have names for me, but you have found something that many people have been looking for and will never find. It's a blessing. Thank you so much for all the years that you put into this conversation, becoming the kind of person that could have a conversation like this with me.
It's not every day that I recognize for those things, and I appreciate you very much for saying that.
Tell your dad that you met some guy that loves cops, and that you and he were laughing hilariously at the thought of the two of you trying to understand each other.
I will.
So give him your love. Give him my love. Thank you. Thank him for giving me you. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful gift. You've given me so many wonderful gifts. Well, big challenge in my life is to try to figure out which project to work on at any given time, because there's just so much. I'm going to give some thought to devoting some time to the website and turning this thing into a seed where other people can take it and run with it, so that I don't have to. So I'll never get around to it, you know. But if I could just express a vision that's so simple that people go, oh, that would change my life. Let's do this. That would change our community. Let's do this. Well, God bless you, Travis.
God bless you.
Exciting.
I never got your first name.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa, Idea Farm. Ideas are important to me. They're important enough for me to change my name to Idea Farm. And something that you said earlier is related to that. And essentially that's what lives beyond us, is the ideas we promote, which turns into the way people live. So anyway, God bless you in your vision, in your dream.
Here's to our
I offer you my friendship and accept the offer if and when that would empower you in your own vision. Otherwise, just carry my blessing.
Well, I say, I turned down your friendship for a deeper relationship as brothers in spirit, brothers and family. You'll always be family. You'll always have my heart, my loyalty. I'll always be your nephew. You'll always be my uncle.
Well, you honor me, and I accept.
Because I still need to receive from you. I still need to be your younger on the path. Although my ideas are, it doesn't matter. I need the elders, and you give me strength to be who I am.
My need to give to you is just as compelling for me. And that's the potential of this wisdom of being open to elders. So it's a great gift that you're giving me. And I have a great gift for you. Nothing special about me, of course. What we are doing is expressing a truth that's available to everyone. Not all elders have anything to say, but all elders deserve to be part of the community. And one of the problems that was brought to my attention yesterday is how many elders are completely alone. They're not part of any community at all. I don't know that doesn't relate to what we're talking about, but it's
Totally does.
It's on my mind because I had this woman who has lived a good life. She's been very generous. She's a Christian. She's been generous with homeless people in Santa Cruz all of her life. And she told me yesterday, I have no money. I've run out of money because I gave it all away. My children tell me, she told me, I would like to have something to give you when I die, but I don't have any. And her children told her, they honored her, and they said, well, the reason you don't have anything to give us, Mom, is that you've given it all your life. She told me that she's lonely. She has no one in her life at all. She lives in a nursing home, comes out to here once in a while. And her daughters, her children are lonely. She has 3 children. They're all lonely. They're not married. They can't find anybody. The daughter would like to find a good man, but all the men she finds just want sex. For me, it's not about the dinners. It's about becoming human beings again. Dinners are just They're just the building. They're just the place. We need to become human again. And it's never been more accessible because we have so many wise writings and books, religions. We have so many wise voices. Why aren't we listening to them? Why aren't we living them? You're going to the Native Americans who celebrate their own wisdom. But with the exception of your teacher, for one reason or another, they don't want to share. Well, the world is crying for that wisdom. Life can be so much better. So, the ideas, the potential of ideas are infinite. You and I can't. You and I can only be so many places. We can only talk, have so many conversations. But ideas are without limit. If you speak truth. If you speak evil, that has potential too.
I'm like that. No, I'm like it's also like
Your music, your.
I'm 39, and like I don't want to mess with this. Like, I'm like, but I was really actually.
Just the whole thing is so beautiful.
I'm like, don't you dare do a spin without like. And like Camila was there, ready to like argue.
This is a mini day, I guess.
You could do it if you need.
It's a very full mini day. Ooh, we just.
But it's fine. I was like, you know.
Well, I don't normally make love with men in public. It was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what? For me, the thing that helped me make something is, oh, you don't want to steal your person. Would you like to watch
I was thinking about going to the church for some food. Do you know the church that feeds? I think they feed every morning.
Oh,
I don't know if you'd like to go with me or if you're off on your own adventure. It's anything's possible, but just wanted to put it out there.
thank you for the
I'm
offer.
going for some free foods because I've got $5.
That makes sense. I'm going to decline it because I didn't plan this hour and a half that we spent together.
Awesome.
So now I have some other things I need to do.
Okay.
But there's no way I can contact you.
Okay.
So
Right.
if you send me an email.
Send you
then-
an email first, and then we'll have a parlance.
Yeah, if you want, you have a smartphone?
I do. It's
Well,
in
if you
my-
want to make sure something happens, then send me an email right now.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll forget or whatever, and it
Yeah.
won't happen. And
You know that's true. Okay. ideafarmcity@gmail.com. Okay.
Or
I'll
you
send
can-
you an email right now. I'm T. DiFonzo. Travis DiFonzo.
okay. And
There's the white man programmed handshake. I'm Travis DiFonzo. We're so
Don't
happy
be-
on that.
you know, I tell people, I try to tell people, don't. The Western culture is something to be proud of. We can honor other cultures, but we shouldn't honor them by putting down our own. Each culture has the truth to speak. And I tell people when I'm in Oakland, or whatever, when the situation demands it, I'll tell them, for example, hey, white people didn't invent slavery, but we did invent freedom.
They're kind of passed over there, but we had too often.
So there's a lot to be proud of in the white race and Western culture. There's a lot of evil, but there's also a lot of good. So when you go to the other cultures and when you receive their wisdom, you have to go there with your tail between your legs. You got something to offer too.
But then at some point, sitting on the potty became. That's what she does. No, this is why I was late. Because
That's the most beautiful
oh, no,
empowerment.
Camila does it less than I do, but then sometimes I'll finish with her, like reading.
You don't want to encourage them in their own evil. You know, oh, here's this white fool. Just like every group, they got their wise people and their fools. Don't let them piss on you. They walk into your tribe, they're going to come in with some pride. As they should. You likewise.
No, and I think it's like, yeah, I think
I will.
right, no, and I think
I'm going to give you a white man's handshake.
Thank you.
One I'm proud of.
Thank you. Thank you for restoring my pride. And I will use it responsibly and with humbleness.
Yeah. Be bold. If you understand the Christian love teaching, it will make you both bold and humble. If you don't have both, you don't get it. Sometimes it's scary.
It is scary. It's so vulnerable, but at the same time strong.
Well, if I was looking for a roommate, you and I would be a natural.
Yeah.
And all the people that have trouble finding people that are not just total jerks, you know.
Yeah. I find that's pretty. Yeah.
But I don't need a roommate because I live out of a backpack.
Yeah. Do you have a vehicle?
No.
No vehicle even.
I used to, but it was too complicated.
Yeah. It's complicated. I mean, that's why I have to go and work this job. I gotta have some money and saved up in case it breaks. All kinds, you know, gas, blah blah blah. But it's what's serving my purpose right now. You know, I guess. I mean, I could just stay in Santa Cruz, but it's like there's more people I gotta work with. I gotta go back to Sedona. Those are the guys with the music, and I gotta be able to come to Santa Cruz. This ceremony here, and I gotta be able to go to Iowa because then Sundance, and so it's like traveling long distances is serving my purposes of building this.
Here's the problem. The problem is that I don't want this conversation to end.
Yeah.
So I hope that you send me that email and we put each other in our lives somehow. Let's let it happen, whatever's going to happen. You got your vision, I got mine. Neither one of us are going to get sucked into the other guy's world. We might only see each other every 6 months. It doesn't matter. But I want that connection to be there, so that whatever's going to happen can happen. I really don't want this conversation to end. I could talk to you for another 4 hours. So, thank you.
Let's go get to our work, our vision.
Thank you so much.
We'll do the young man thing.
All right. So,
I'll send you an email.
do it right now, or give me your email address. That way I can do it.
I'm going to go do it right now. I got my smartphone in the car.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Smartphone's in the
That's
car.
the way I prefer it. I prefer to let the other person control.
Cool.
And if you have a reason to not do it, that's fine.
Thank you.
And I hope you do, because I don't want the conversation to end.